Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I got you guys on a little bit of a different angle. Figured easier to go for a little ride along, something a little different than usual in what I do. And yeah, I'll keep the video a little bit short as well. We won't do no 50-minute video, but anyways, so if you guys watched my last video, I had the APR stage 2 or APR dual pulley installed, upper and lower. So we got the crank and the supercharger pulley. I got integrated engineering cold air intake. I've got the colder plugs in there. We have a CTS heat exchanger, which is a huge upgrade in the factory, of course. And then, so as you guys know, I have a CREC engine code, well, engine, period. So it's got the port and a direct injection system, and there's other little things that are on there, like the supercharger clutch is different. It's a magnetic clutch. It's not a solid rod, which I kind of wish it was, but that's okay. So as we know, integrated engineering did not have a tune for my car. Kind of found that out the hard way, but that's okay. Integrated engineering, I still want to stick with them as far as a sole brand on this car. What's nice is they are going to be releasing their tune very shortly here. I actually got an amazing email the other day from one of the guys over at Integrated Engineering. So pretty stoked about that, to see how that's going to work out. So with what tune I'm running with right now, so APR actually had a tune available for my car. They had the single pulley tune, the dual pulley tune. If I'm not mistaken, I even think they even had a stage 1 tune. Just a regular stage 1 tune with the cold air intake is what they require. So we're rocking the stage 2 tune, dual pulley tune. As you guys can see, I was able to find a local shop, Endless Performance, and they're an APR dealer, which is nice. So he was able to actually tune my car for the setup that I'm currently running as of right now. And I figured, I'd give you guys a good show and tell of how it rides and drives and performs. Now, Integrated Engineering just released their ZF8 transmission, so I don't have a TCU trans tune on this car because APR doesn't offer that. I'm still on the stock tune. I plan on purchasing the ZF8 Integrated Engineering tune very shortly here. Oh man, this guy just, slams on his brakes. Good thing, I could stop when I have to. But yeah, I would have loved to show you guys a nice little pull here, but with the traffic that we got going on, it doesn't really help much. Hopefully we get a red light. I could launch the car from a dead stop right here. It'd be a nice little example with the APR. Okay, well that didn't work, but that's okay. There we go, slamming on our brakes again. But yes, Integrated Engineering, once they come out with their tune, their CREC engine tune, I plan on doing the switch. Integrated Engineering takes it a little bit a step higher than what APR would do, from what I've seen and what they've posted up on their website as far as horsepower goes, because from what I've read, APR, their stats for their tunes that they post on their website isn't true. I don't know. I mean, you guys could, let me know in the comments and let me know what you guys think about APR. I was just too eager and I had to go with a tune on this car. This is my daily car. And I was like, you know what? Nobody has a tune for this car. I think 034 Motorsports may have one. But I was like, I already have the Integrated Engineering, the dongle. I'm gonna stick with them until they release their tune out. But for now, APR actually has it. You have to go to an APR dealer for them to upload the tune. Yes, it cost a lot of money, but was it worth it? 100% worth it. the car definitely woke up. Now I have a stock exhaust system, you know, stock headers, stock cats, everything's stock. Only thing I did on this car maintenance wise was the rear differential. We got the proper oil in this. Now when I say proper oil, I got the European blend, right? So and then I got, of course, I replaced my water pump. It was leaking. In the process of me doing the pulley change, I noticed it was leaking. So luckily, when I first purchased this car, I purchased everything as far as the coolant hoses and stuff like that for this vehicle, because I know it's very common for these cars to have coolant leaks. One worrisome is my supercharger. Now I was told that the supercharger, because it's a magnetic clutch, I was told that that magnetic clutch is a very weak clutch, especially with the dual pulley system, and it's just going to shred it apart. Now, I've been going on probably 1,000 miles with the dual pulley setup with the APR tune, and I don't really get on the car constantly. As of right now, I'm an individual, which I have custom settings for the dynamic steering, and I have comfort for the engine and trans. Just because if I had it on dynamic, this thing is like, I mean, with the ZF8 transmission, it's just weird. That's why I'm super excited to get the ZF8 trans that Integrated Engineering offers now. So that's going to be really nice to implement into this car. And then hopefully, I mean, I don't know yet. Again, you know, I got an email from Integrated Engineering. Hopefully they're going to be releasing the different stages of their CREC engine tune. I know that on the forums on Facebook, that, you know, the article that's on there, they stated that they will come up, they're testing different stages. I'm assuming there's like stage 1, stage 2. I don't know what else after that, but there's probably like the E40 mix and so on. But hopefully they release that, and if that's the case, I'm gonna absolutely switch it up and just keep it all Integrated Engineering. Integrated Engineering trans tune, Integrated Engineering cold air intake, Integrated Engineering engine tune. You know, just stick with all one company. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Besides my heat exchanger now, with the heat exchanger, I would have loved to get a CREC Racing heat exchanger, but at the time when I was looking, they were out of stock. The website said that they were out of stock, and I got the heat exchanger from ECS for the same price as the CREC Racing one was. And I was like, you know what, I mean, there's probably some scientific method to the way they're designed and so on, but in my mind, they all serve the same purpose as far as being mounted in the front of the vehicle and having coolant pass through it and being a lot bigger than the stock one. So why not, you know? So I absolutely went with that. But overall, again, like I said, about 1,000 miles on it since everything was installed with the tune. Only thing different, also, I don't know if I mentioned, I put the colder plugs on this. Here, we're gonna actually get on it a little bit. We'll switch it up to dynamic, just because it gives it a little bit more of an oomph, you know. Not too bad. Holds the RPMs pretty high. You know, again, I'm looking forward for that ZF8 transmission tune. And then guys, the car literally just pulls and it keeps going. It just wants to keep going. There's no like downside, no bog to it. I'm going 80, and I will let the semi truck go through first. I'm not gonna play you know, a game with the semi truck, because we'll definitely win. So at a 70, 72, 74, we're on the highway, and the speed limit's pretty much 70 miles an hour. I'm not going past the speed limit. I'm speeding up to the speed limit. That's about it. I definitely learned my lesson about getting a ticket. it's funny, I get a ticket in this car, but when I drive the Corvette and I go fast in the Corvette, I don't get a ticket. So it's quite interesting. But basically, this is the APR Stage 2 setup that I'm rolling with the stock trans tune, stock exhaust. And it again definitely woke the car up. And you know, as far as my supercharger goes, I've never heard any kind of slippage, any kind of weird clunk noise, or you know, any catastrophic failure from it so far, knock on wood. And you know, isn't this like real wood right here, right? Didn't they say that that's real wood in the Audis, if I'm not mistaken? But yeah, you guys, so what we got planned next is to go with the ZF8 transmission tune. If Integrated Engineering releases their Stage 2 tune for the CREC, I'll definitely go with that as well. But for now, we're gonna stick with the ZF8 tune, which I'm gonna do possibly over this weekend, and then we'll go for another ride and see kind of the difference. And what's crazy is that, you know, there's, I guess, not that many people out there that really have a ZF8, so there's not really many videos as far as showing like how the ZF8 tune performs from Integrated Engineering. I know they posted up a YouTube video showing, you know, just kind of a little example of how it performs. I know there's different stages as far as that tune goes for the ZF8, with like there's a street tune, there's a racing one, and then there's something else, all dependent on your tires, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited to give that a try and see how that is. I think I'm just gonna jump the gun and say, yeah, this is, you know, a all-out race car or whatnot, and then just roll with it from there. So why not, right? I mean, again, this is my daily car, and this is pretty much what I do on a daily, is drive on the highway constantly, back and forth, you know, to work. That's kind of where I'm at going right now. And this is my normal everyday drive, you know. And as far as miles per gallon on the car goes, I mean, I'm getting anywhere from, I would say, 24 to 28 miles to the gallon, if anybody really cares. Honestly, I don't beat on the car constantly, but when I need to, when you have somebody next to you and you're just like looking at them and they're looking at you, you're like, why not, you know? So you just punch it and go. It's kind of a sleeper, you know. People see this as like a freaking land yacht, old man car, but this is definitely not one car to mess with. That's, you know, a pretty fast street car that's keeping up with just about all these modern cars that are coming out now, like the V6 twin turbo, like you got the Acuras and stuff like that come out with that. I think even Hyundai came out with their new Genesis that's stupid fast. But I'm just comparing apples to oranges at this point. But yeah, you guys, if anything just randomly shows up as I'm driving, I will play the video back on. But just to show you that little bit of a oomph, that little bit of a APR Stage 2, you know, engine tune, the dual pulley setup, as I got onto the highway over there, just kind of show you guys what it's all about. I'll try my very best to get kind of a launch video, because it does technically have a launch control now, meaning I could put the foot on the brake and mash the gas pedal, and it will hold an RPM now. It won't just sit there for like 5 seconds and then just bog down, as the stock version of this did. So also, one thing that I did notice before I let you guys go, the RPM gauge, so you got the little red, you know, indicator as to where the RPM will, or the needle will hit. That did change because the rev limiter, they took the rev limiter off of this, so you could just sit there in park or neutral and just rev the crap out of this thing. I never did that. I don't plan on never doing that, unless there's some type of two-step or something like that, which there's no such thing as that on this car. It's like a fuel cut. I don't know what kind of setup, you know, everybody does. I'm still a little bit of a rookie into the Audi world. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, I am coming from driving a Corvette, which I still own, and do plan on working on very soon. I want to finish this car up first. but that's kind of where I'm coming from. That's my background. As far as Audi or European goes, I have very, very small knowledge about how these cars actually work and what's the functionality of them, and you know, how they perform and so on. But yeah, you guys, thank you guys again. Thank you guys so much for coming by and watching the channel, or watching the videos that I post up. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll get the ZF8 trans tune installed, and we'll kick it off from there. Give you guys a nice little pull again. We'll put this bad boy in dynamic. As I put it in dynamic, the RPM gauge just slightly goes back up. I don't know what gear I am in right now, but I'm assuming it downshift. I would have loved to give you guys a nice little pull, but yeah, you know, I can't really get anywhere. So, but that's okay. So just hang tight for a second. And the supercharger whine, by the way, is much louder. It holds a scream, the constant scream of the supercharger throughout, you know, the RPMs. It just stays there. It just doesn't like quiet down or anything. So it's an amazing car. I love this car. I do plan eventually running it down the quarter-mile just to see what it runs. I think it's gonna run in the upper 12s. For it to run in the 11s, that would be insane, because then this thing would be almost as fast as my Corvette. With the Corvette, if you have a driver, I think the Corvette would run high 10s, possibly low 11s. That's just how I feel about that. So, but here we go. Alright, well, again, thank you guys so much for stopping by the channel. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys in the next video.